So part of the Masjid Shura of New York. My question is two questions. One, this hate-mongers, orange-headed person, to take off him, we have to take off the Congress and Senate. As a Congress person, what do you suggest we should do? Because without that, we cannot stop him. And without stopping him, he will be creating hatred in media, you name it. Number two question is that last Friday, we had a Juma prayer in front of New York Attorney General's office about the Muslim brother who was killed 2012, Abdullah. So there was Imam Kanate was giving his speech, and he called a lot of masjids to come for Juma prayer. We're only about 5 people, another 50 people are non-Muslims. And everybody was saying that Muslim doesn't want to come in front of the attorney office only because of the Muslim. How among the Muslims is a very much resistance among themselves to go out and talk. And so what should we do as Muslims to stand up for our rights? Because first of all, we have language issues. Second issue is that we are afraid. And third issue is that we are ISIS, are knocking our doors. So how can we really stand for our rights? These two questions. Thank you very much.
Let's answer that question.
Let's answer this question, then we'll get back to you. We have one brother right here.
Well, first, with regard to how we can change the Congress and Senate, I think one of the biggest things is voting. If you can vote, vote. And I'm sure the congressman will elaborate on that. But with regard to the fear of being Muslim right now, I mean, I know I can say for myself, it is important to work within the system and work and make sure your voice is heard. It's also important to differentiate between the federal government and the state government and the local government. The state government here, so the state attorney general, Eric Schneiderman, is very much here to help and listen. And it's just important to understand all the branches, understand the roles of every single agency. And again, for our office, we are also, in court on the Brooklyn case that was mentioned before with regard to the 2 Iraqis who were trying to enter the U.S. We're here, we're on your side, and some of us are even working within the government. So just remember that as much as you can.
I wanted to say something especially for the Muslim men and women who are U.S. citizens, because I know the immigration fear is pronounced for those of you who maybe don't have status or there are complications. But for U.S. citizens, Donald Trump cannot come and take away your freedom of speech. He cannot come and take away your right to travel. He cannot take away those core rights. But the fear he is spreading can strip you of those rights. And it's by fighting against that fear and standing up and giving your voice and being present that you defy him and you strip him of that ability to silence the thousands of Muslim citizens who would otherwise be afraid to take part. And so I think it's really clear that while we need people to know their rights, we need everyone to be as well educated in how to assert their rights, you also, part of fighting back is simply showing up and being heard.
Thank you. And so with the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs and along with the Mayor's Office also has a new Center for Faith and Community Partnerships. We've been doing a lot of work also along with CCHR. So one thing is, how do we get positive images out there? So I don't know if any of you saw the I'm a Muslim campaign that we did, and that I think is like a very effective way to what we talk a lot about, like normalizing our diversity and our different faiths and what it means to be Muslim. So that's one campaign that we did that to work towards that end. Another piece we're doing is we're doing a lot of faith organizing. So we are working to do a whole weekend of action with our faith leaders this coming weekend, where we're going to have all of these resources that I have on the back table, that people are going to sign up and distribute these resources, and also give a message of inclusion and support for our immigrants and what they're going through right now. So that, if we would like to bring the center into that weekend, we would love for you to join as well. Another thing that we did was we did a day of action supporting our Muslim communities, and we focused on areas where there were concentrations of people from the 7 banned countries. We were out in the morning at subway stations giving out resources and materials in multiple languages. So I think we want to have some visibility, right? And I think this goes to what you said about not retreating. This administration has done everything to bring people out of the shadows. Excuse me, and we don't want to retreat. We want to stay visible, stay bold, and also stay united and support each other.
I just want to acknowledge the last part of the question that we just heard, which was about what if ICE comes to your door, which is sort of the flip of staying visible. But so that folks know, if ICE or the police comes to your door and asks you to come in or demands to come in, you should not open your door until you're presented with a judicial warrant. This is very important. So ask whoever is knocking at your door to slip their business card underneath the door, to slip the warrant that they have. Ask them if they have a warrant. If they do not have a warrant signed by a judge naming a person in your home, you do not have to open the door.
Just to wrap up that question, one, despite what the current occupant of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, the hater-in-chief, may think, it's not a dictatorship, it's a democracy. And we're fighting to preserve that democracy, but the elements of it are that at the federal level, there are 3 branches of government. There's the executive branch, which he does control at the moment. There's a legislative branch of which many of us are a part of, including the person who currently represents you here in the 8th Congressional District. Yes. And there's the judicial branch, which, at least to date, has checked the administration in terms of their unconstitutional overreach. So I think it's important to communicate to the community that all of the government is not your enemy. At the federal level, and beyond that, because of the system of federalism that we have here in America, you've got federal level of government, which I just talked about. You've got the city and the state, both represented here today. And whether it's the Attorney General, Eric Snyderman, whether it's the Governor, Andrew Cuomo, whether it's the Mayor, Bill de Blasio, these are all offices and individuals that have your best interests at heart. So it's going to be important to distinguish between who you interact with as it relates to dealing with governmental officials and not retreat. And to the point of being concerned in the community about coming out and interacting, it's a concern that we understand, which is why we made the decision to have this town hall meeting here at the Masjid between the 4:15 prayer and the 5:40 prayer, to make sure that we can maximize, at least in terms of our initial engagement, the number of people who participate so you can get the information, begin to distribute it, and this is something that we, of course, will continue to do.